Then all of a sudden in July of 2019 is when the feds come running in. Now, again, let's go back to barbershop talk. Barbershop talk is when the feds come, they 80 to 85% sure. They are ready. Like, they not playing. They not like the state. Right there, let's start right there. What is the difference in the May 2019 charges, or the charges that were before that by the state, and all of a sudden, how did we get to federal indictments?
All right, so let's take 2019 real quick. It's actually still active. So what I would guess happened is when the feds came in, they took over and it told the time for the Cook County stuff. So they just basically took the Cook County stuff and put it off to the side and said, we'll revisit this when the Fed case is done.
Right.
Okay, so that's still going on, but the Fed case is where it gets super interesting because all the state cases, the Cook County case, which is Illinois, Minnesota has a state case as well that is falling in that same category. I'm about to say something that's going to come across really bad, and I don't mean it to, okay? Right? Because anytime you have sexual abuse and sexual battery and everything else, it's really bad.
Right.
Okay? But those state cases are your garden variety, sexual battery, child pornography, all those things. The feds did something incredibly different when they did their charges. There's actually, from what I found, there are no sexual battery charges encompassed within what they did, what they charged him with.
Right. And I'm going to let you explain this, but things that I just saw that jumped out at me. I saw conspiracy. I saw RICO. To me, and again, I'm not a lawyer, which is why I wanted you to come here and sit and talk to me about this. These things seem to me like what they went after, like major drug figures with these charges, right? These kind of charges. Is this, in your opinion, as a lawyer, the only way that they felt like they was going to stop R. Kelly from getting away? Well,
it was the feds' really only ability to, right? Because they're the feds, and there's not really there's some things now with human trafficking and things, but for you come down to this. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it without getting too legally on it. Okay. The feds have to have what's called an impact to interstate commerce. Okay. So what that means is you have to cross state lines, right?
Boom.
And I've been involved in federal trials, and to take it back to the barbershop talk, if you will, you'll hear guys that get pinched on a federal gun charge, right? And you go, well, how do they get pinched on this federal gun charge? Because they were here in the state of Florida. Well, what they do is they go, that gun was manufactured in Georgia, was brought across state lines into Florida, and you had it in Florida. Therefore, the interstate commerce clause is satisfied, and the feds can pick it up. Okay? So that's how parts of it work. But if you want me to get into it right now, I can get into the nitty-gritty details of
Let's go.
Of
We're
these
here
charges.
now. Let's go.
So,
We're here now.
All right. This is the most interesting one of all. There, I don't know which one's most interesting, but there is the Mann Act. Okay, and it's not MAN like a male man. It's from 1910. The congressman, his last name was Mann, MANN, and what it was meant to address, they called it the White Slavery Act, which was talking about prostitution, and apparently they had human trafficking back in 1910 as well. They were bringing them from other countries and doing different things, and that's where that act came from. The problem with it was a very racially driven act. I mean, look, 1910 was a whole lot different.
It was what it is.
Right.
Well, I mean, what it was.
Right, exactly. So what's kind of interesting is you have R. Kelly, who's black, he satisfied all 8 pieces of the Mann Act, of which was originally decried as being a very racist act against black people. So it's interesting from that perspective. But
I've never heard this part. So it's you're right. The escalation of interest has gone like this right now.
So and it's rarely used. In 1986, they made some changes to the act. So prior to that, it was really a morality thing. And in 1986, the U.S. government said, we're not going to get in the business of morality. And that's where it had become really racial. Right up to that point was you could essentially go, black man marrying a white woman or engaging in sexual intercourse with a white woman violates the Mann Act. Therefore, you can be subjected to federal charges.